Welcome back to our channel, World Coins History. As you knew that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln wheat penny coins that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1. Today, we're diving into one of the most famous coins in American history, the iconic 1954 wheat penny. This little piece of history may seem like just another penny, but trust me, it could be worth much more than you think. Stick around, because you're about to discover how much this small coin could actually fetch on the market today, and trust me, you'll be shocked by the number. So, let's start by taking a trip back to 1954. It was a time of change, progress, and a rising American economy. The country was post-World War II, and the 1950s brought about a boom in industry, culture, and technology. And amidst all this, the U.S. Mint was busy producing coins that would become collectibles today, with the 1954 wheat penny being one of them. The wheat penny, named for the wheat stalks adorning the reverse side of the coin, was first introduced in 1909 and was minted all the way up until 1958. Over those decades, millions of these pennies circulated, making them an easy find for anyone with a pocketful of change. But in 1954, something special happened. This particular year of the wheat penny, in certain conditions, became a coveted treasure among collectors. Now, let's talk about what makes the 1954 wheat penny stand out. The design is a perfect snapshot of early 20th century American artistry. On the obverse side, you'll see the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, created by the talented Victor David Brenner. He's etched in incredible detail, looking strong and determined, a fitting tribute to one of America's most revered presidents. But the real magic lies on the reverse side, where two bundles of wheat stalks are arranged in a symmetrical pattern. This design represents America's agricultural strength and prosperity, with the wheat symbolizing growth and abundance. It's an image that resonates deeply with American heritage, and that's one reason why wheat pennies are so beloved by collectors to this day. So, why is the 1954 wheat penny particularly valuable? Well, this penny, while produced in large numbers, has become rare in certain conditions. Most of the coins from this year were circulated heavily, meaning they're often found in poor condition. But if you happen to have one that's in pristine or near mint condition, you've got a real gem on your hands. Coins like these are harder to come by, and collectors are always on the lookout for them. Now, here's the kicker. What really makes the 1954 wheat penny stand out are the mint errors. Mint errors are small mistakes that occurred during the production of coins. These can include things like doubling in the engraving, where the text or design on the coin appears twice. Other errors might include misaligned dies or even off-center strikes. These flaws make the coin even more unique and can significantly increase its value. In fact, some rare 1954 wheat pennies with these minting errors have been known to fetch jaw-dropping amounts of money. These coins are incredibly sought after, and if you have one in your collection, you might just have a hidden treasure that could skyrocket in value. So, what are we talking about in terms of money here? Well, a typical 1954 wheat penny might only be worth a few cents. But if you have one in mint condition, or better yet, one with a rare minting error, prepare yourself. The value can soar, and we're talking about tens of thousands of dollars. That's right, this little penny could be worth an astonishing $66,000, yes, you heard that right, $66,000 for a single 1954 wheat penny. It's incredible, isn't it? Who knew that something as small as a penny could hold such immense value? If you happen to have one of these coins tucked away in a drawer or stashed in an old jar, you might just have a small fortune waiting to be discovered. So, how can you tell if your 1954 wheat penny is one of these rare, valuable specimens? Well, the first thing to check is its condition. Look for coins that are well preserved, with minimal wear and tear. The clearer the details on the coin, the more valuable it is. Next, examine it for any unique minting errors or design flaws. If you spot something unusual, get it examined by a professional coin grader to find out if it could be worth more than you think. In the world of coin collecting, rarity is everything, and if you've got a 1954 wheat penny with a rare error, you're sitting on a potential gold mine. These mistakes make the coin even more valuable because they're unique. No two error coins are ever exactly the same, which is what makes them so highly sought after by collectors. So, there you have it. The 1954 wheat penny may seem like a small, simple coin, but in the right condition, with the right minting error, it could be worth more than most people realize. Who knows, maybe you've got one sitting in your collection right now. Top 2, we're going to explore one of the most fascinating and valuable pennies in U.S. history, the 1945 wheat penny. This seemingly ordinary coin, which most people would overlook in a pile of spare change, is anything but ordinary. In fact, it might be worth far more than you could ever imagine. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll be shocked by how much this small piece of history could be worth today. Now, let's set the stage. 1945 was a year that marked the end of World War II, a pivotal moment in American history. The country had endured years of war, and the 1945 wheat penny reflects this historic period in ways that many people don't realize. The penny was part of the U.S. Mint's regular production during that time, but it wasn't just any coin. It was a part of a post-war economy on the rise and a country ready to rebuild. So, while these pennies were circulating widely during and after the war, they weren't produced in the same way they are today. That makes the 1945 wheat penny a true relic from an important moment in American history. You might be wondering, what's so special about this coin? Well, let me break it down for you. The wheat penny, first introduced in 1909, was minted until 1958, and the design hasn't changed much throughout its run. On the front, you'll see the famous portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by artist Victor David Brenner. His face is deeply etched in the coin, capturing his likeness in stunning detail. But what really makes the 1945 wheat penny stand out is its reverse side. On the back of the coin, you'll find two bundles of wheat stalks, perfectly arranged in a way that symbolizes the agricultural strength of the United States. This image represents a country grounded in farming, prosperity, and growth. The wheat stalks also serve as a tribute to the American heartland. The symbolism and artistry in this simple coin are what make it an enduring symbol of American heritage. So, what makes the 1945 wheat penny so valuable? After all, it's a coin that was produced in the millions, so how could it possibly be worth a lot? Well, the answer lies in its rarity and condition. While many of these pennies were used for everyday transactions, finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is incredibly rare. The 1945 penny, like many coins of its time, was subjected to wear and tear. But if you have one that's survived the test of time and remains in near perfect shape, you're sitting on a hidden treasure. But wait, there's more. The real value of the 1945 wheat penny lies in a fascinating phenomenon: minting errors. These are mistakes that happen during the coin's production, making the coin even more unique and valuable. Common errors include things like misaligned dies, where the design doesn't line up correctly, or even coins with doubled features, where the engraving appears twice. Other rare errors include off-center strikes or even coins that were struck with the wrong kind of metal. These errors might seem small, but they make the coin much rarer and more desirable to collectors. And here's the kicker: if you happen to have a 1945 wheat penny with one of these errors, you could be holding something worth a small fortune. Mint errors are highly prized in the world of coin collecting because they're one of a kind. No two error coins are exactly the same, which makes them even more appealing to collectors who are looking for something truly unique. Now, let's get to the exciting part: just how much is this coin worth? I know you've been waiting for it. While the typical 1945 wheat penny might only be worth a few cents, things change dramatically when you're talking about a coin in excellent condition, or better yet, one with a rare minting error. The value can jump up in a big way. Are you ready for this? If you've got a 1945 wheat penny that's in perfect condition, or one with a minting error, it could be worth as much as $79,000. Yes, you heard that right, $79,000 for a single penny. It's amazing to think that a coin that was once used to buy a loaf of bread could now be worth that much money. So, if you've got one of these pennies in your collection, it might be time to dust it off and take a closer look. But how do you know if you have one of these rare, valuable pennies? First, check its condition. Coins with minimal wear, strong detail, and no corrosion are the most valuable. Next, carefully examine the coin for any minting errors. If you spot anything unusual, it might be worth getting the coin professionally graded. A professional grading service can give you an accurate value, and you might just discover that your 1945 wheat penny is worth far more than you ever thought possible. The bottom line is this: coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 1945 wheat penny is a perfect example of how something that seems small and insignificant can actually hold enormous value. So, if you've got one of these pennies lying around, or you find one in your spare change, take the time to check its condition and see if it has any unique features. Who knows? You might just be holding onto a coin worth thousands of dollars. Top 3, we've got something exciting for you: the 1950 wheat penny. This small coin might look like just another penny, but trust me, it's far from ordinary. You might be surprised to learn just how much this seemingly insignificant coin could be worth today. If you think you've seen it all, wait until you discover the potential hidden inside this little piece of American history. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you won't believe how much this penny could actually fetch. Let's first step back into 1950, a year full of historic significance. The country was post-World War II, and the 1950s were an era of great change. The U.S. economy was booming, industries were growing, and the country was beginning to shift into an era of prosperity. During this time, the U.S. Mint was still producing the iconic wheat penny, which had been in circulation since 1909. The 1950 wheat penny became a staple in the pockets of Americans during this exciting and transformative time. At first glance, the 1950 wheat penny might not seem like anything special. It features the famous portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's profile has become an emblem of American leadership, etched beautifully on this tiny piece of copper. But the real charm lies on the reverse, where you'll see the 2 bundles of wheat stalks. This design has always represented the agricultural backbone of America and continues to be a symbol of strength and growth. But here's the twist: while these pennies were minted in large quantities, some of them are now incredibly rare, and not just because of their age. Over time, many 1950 wheat pennies were spent, lost, or simply worn down from years of circulation. So, finding one in pristine or near mint condition today is quite the rare find. And when you consider how many were heavily used in daily transactions, it's easy to see why collectors have begun to value them so highly. So what makes the 1950 wheat penny so valuable? The real value lies in the condition of the coin, as well as the possibility of mint errors. Mint errors are exactly what they sound like: mistakes made during the production process. These errors are what set certain coins apart from the rest and can dramatically increase their worth. Common errors found in the 1950 wheat penny include things like doubled dies, misaligned strikes, and off-center coins. Imagine holding a coin that was struck incorrectly, making it completely unique from any other coin. That's exactly what mint errors do: they make a coin one of a kind, and that's why collectors are willing to pay top dollar for them. These mistakes are rare, and a single error could turn an ordinary 1950 wheat penny into something worth thousands, or even tens of thousands, of dollars. Now, let's talk numbers. A standard 1950 wheat penny might only be worth a few cents, nothing too exciting. But if you happen to have one of these rare coins, especially if it's in near-perfect condition or has an error, you could be sitting on something incredibly valuable. In fact, if you own a 1950 wheat penny with a mint error or in pristine condition, it could be worth as much as $69,000. Yes, you heard that right, $69,000. It's incredible to think that a coin that was once used to buy something as simple as a piece of candy could now be worth such an enormous amount of money. If you have one of these pennies sitting around, it might be time to dig it out and take a closer look. You could be holding a treasure worth far more than you ever imagined, so, how can you tell if your 1950 wheat penny is one of the rare, valuable ones? First, check its condition. A coin in excellent condition will have sharp details, no wear or corrosion, and a clear, crisp design. If it looks like it was just minted yesterday, that's a good sign. Next, look for any minting errors. If the design is slightly off, or if you notice any unusual features like doubled text or images, you may have found something special. Mint errors are the key to unlocking the true value of many coins, and if you have a 1950 wheat penny with one of these, it could be a game changer. But don't just assume. If you think you have a rare coin, get it professionally graded. A certified coin expert will be able to assess its value and help you determine if you're holding onto a hidden gem. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 1950 wheat penny is a perfect example of how something that seems simple can actually be worth an incredible amount of money. If you've got one of these coins lying around, or if you come across one in your change, take a moment to look it over closely. You never know, you might just have a coin worth a small fortune. Top 4, we're diving into a coin that's probably sitting in your pocket right now, but it could be worth a small fortune. Yes, I'm talking about the 1957 wheat penny. You may have come across one before and thought nothing of it, but this coin might just be worth way more than you realize. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed by the value of this small but mighty penny. Let's rewind to 1957. It was a pivotal time in American history, as the country was moving past the turbulent years of the Great Depression and World War II. The 1950s were a time of prosperity, growth, and innovation. The U.S. Mint continued to produce the wheat penny, which had been in circulation for almost 5 decades at that point. But by 1957, the design was nearing the end of its run. The wheat penny was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial Cent in 1959, making 1957 a special year for this iconic coin. Now, let's take a look at the 1957 wheat penny's design. On the front, you'll see the image of President Abraham Lincoln, created by artist Victor David Brenner. This portrait of Lincoln has been featured on the penny since 1909 and continues to be one of the most recognizable images in American coinage. But it's on the reverse side where this coin starts to show its true value. The back of the 1957 wheat penny features 2 bundles of wheat, symbolizing the strength of America's agricultural roots and the country's growth and prosperity. At first glance, the 1957 wheat penny might not look all that special. After all, millions of these coins were minted and circulated across the country. But here's where it gets interesting. While many of these pennies have been used, lost, or worn down over the years, a 1957 wheat penny in exceptional condition can be worth quite a bit of money. And if your penny has a rare minting error, you could be sitting on a true treasure. Minting errors are a huge part of the value of a coin like this. Mistakes during the minting process are actually quite common, and some of these errors can make a coin incredibly rare and valuable. For the 1957 wheat penny, some of the most sought-after errors include double dies, where the design appears twice or is slightly shifted, and misaligned strikes, where the coin is struck incorrectly, causing a portion of the design to be off-center. Other errors, like off-center coins or coins with strange metal composition, can also make them highly collectible. Imagine holding a coin that wasn't just made by the U.S. Mint, but was actually created with a mistake that makes it unique from any other coin. That's what minting errors do. They give a coin a story and make it one of a kind. And collectors are always on the lookout for coins with these types of flaws, because they stand out in a collection and can be worth a lot more than their face value. So, what does this mean for the value of a 1957 wheat penny? Well, while a regular 1957 penny in worn condition might only be worth a few cents, a coin that's in near mint condition or one with a rare minting error can be worth an absolute fortune. Are you ready for this? A 1957 wheat penny, in exceptional condition or with a rare minting error, can be worth as much as $60,000. Yes, you heard me right, $60,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that this small coin, which was once used for a penny's worth of goods, could now be worth such an astounding amount of money. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I know if my 1957 wheat penny is worth something? First, you'll want to check the condition of your coin. Coins that are in excellent condition, with sharp details and no visible damage, will be the most valuable. The clearer the image of Lincoln and the wheat stalks, the better. Next, take a close look at the coin for any minting errors. If you see something unusual, like doubling or misalignment, there's a good chance that your coin is worth much more than you think. If you think you might have found a rare error coin, it's always a good idea to get it professionally graded by a coin expert. A professional will be able to tell you exactly what your coin is worth and whether it's a rare find. And if it is, well, you could be holding onto a piece of history that's worth far more than its original value. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 1957 wheat penny is a perfect example of how something so simple can turn into a valuable treasure. If you have one of these pennies in your collection, or if you come across one in your spare change, it's definitely worth taking a second look. You might just find yourself holding a coin worth tens of thousands of dollars. Top 5, we've got an exciting topic for you, a coin that's been around for over 70 years, but could be worth a small fortune today. I'm talking about the 1944 wheat penny. Now, you might be wondering, why is a simple penny from 1944 so special? Well, by the end of this video, you'll understand why this coin is so valuable and why it could be sitting in your collection right now without you even knowing it. Let's set the stage. The year 1944 was a pivotal time in American history. The world was in the midst of World War II, and the U.S. economy was in full swing to support the war effort. The U.S. Mint had a massive task ahead of it, producing coins to meet the high demand. The 1944 wheat penny was one of the most widely circulated pennies of that time, but there's something special about this particular year that makes it so valuable today. Now, let's talk about the design of the 1944 wheat penny. On the front, you'll find the iconic portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, which was designed by artist Victor David Brenner. This image of Lincoln has been on U.S. pennies since 1909, and it's easily one of the most recognizable faces in American history. But it's the back of the coin that's truly remarkable. The reverse features two bundles of wheat stalks, which symbolize the agricultural strength of America, something that was especially important during the war years when food production was critical. The combination of these two powerful symbols makes the 1944 wheat penny a piece of American history that is both meaningful and beautiful. So, what makes this penny so special? At first glance, the 1944 wheat penny might seem like just another coin, but its value lies in its rarity and the potential for minting errors. Most of the 1944 pennies were produced in large quantities, and many of them circulated widely, so finding one in great condition is rare. But here's the catch: the real value of the 1944 wheat penny comes from those few exceptional specimens that have survived in near-perfect condition or, even better, with rare minting errors. Mint errors are a huge factor in determining the value of a coin, and they can make an ordinary penny into something extraordinarily valuable. For the 1944 wheat penny, some of the most sought-after errors include things like double strikes, where the design appears twice on the coin, or off-center strikes, where the image is misaligned. There are also examples of coins that were struck with incorrect metal content, which makes them even rarer. Imagine holding a coin that's a true mistake of the minting process, making it one of a kind. Minting errors like these are highly desirable to collectors because they stand out from the rest of the coins produced in that year. These error coins are like little treasures that tell a story of how they were created differently from the others, and that uniqueness is what makes them so valuable. So, how much can a 1944 wheat penny really be worth? Well, this is where it gets exciting. A typical 1944 wheat penny in worn condition might only be worth a few cents. But if you have a coin in excellent condition, or even better, one with a minting error, the value skyrockets. In fact, a 1944 wheat penny with a rare mint error can be worth as much as $83,000. Yes, you heard me correctly, $83,000 for a single penny. It's amazing to think that a coin that was once used to buy a piece of candy could now be worth that much money. Now, you might be asking, how do I know if I have one of these rare pennies? The first step is to check its condition. A coin that's in excellent, uncirculated condition will have sharp, clear details and little to no signs of wear. Look for any imperfections that could be a sign of a minting error. Is the design slightly doubled? Is the coin misaligned? If you see anything that seems unusual, it's worth getting the coin professionally graded to determine its value, and remember, the rarer the error, the higher the value. For example, a 1944 wheat penny that was struck on the wrong type of metal, like steel instead of copper, could be worth significantly more than a standard penny, and it's one of those coins that collectors will go crazy for. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 1944 wheat penny is a prime example of how a small coin can hold big value. It's not just about the year it was minted or the famous Lincoln design, it's about finding the rare, well-preserved, or error-filled versions that collectors are after. So, if you have any old pennies from 1944, or even if you find one in your spare change, take a closer look. You never know, you might have a small fortune in your hands. Top 6, I'm bringing you a story about a small coin that could be worth a small fortune. It's the 1953 wheat penny, a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance but holds incredible potential for those who know where to look. If you've ever wondered about the true value of this penny, stick with me, because by the end of this video, you might just want to take a second look at any 1953 wheat pennies you have lying around. Let's travel back to 1953 for a moment. This was a year in post-World War II America, a time when the country was booming. The economy was growing, and life for many Americans was moving toward prosperity. The U.S. Mint was working overtime to supply coins for a growing population, and the 1953 wheat penny was part of that effort. This coin, designed by artist Victor David Brenner, features the famous portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. It's an image that has graced American pennies for over a century, making it one of the most recognizable faces in U.S. currency, but it's the reverse of the coin that tells a deeper story. The back of the 1953 wheat penny displays two sheaves of wheat, symbolizing America's agricultural strength. This design, which was used on pennies from 1909 to 1958, connects the nation's farming history to its economic growth. It's a powerful image, and it gives the 1953 wheat penny a unique place in American coinage. But here's the kicker, this seemingly simple design has led to some surprising discoveries in the coin collecting world. So, what makes the 1953 wheat penny so special? Well, here's the thing. Although millions of these pennies were produced in 1953, finding one in excellent condition is far rarer than you might think. Over the years, these coins were circulated, used, and often worn down from regular handling. A typical 1953 wheat penny in average condition might not be worth more than a few cents. But here's where things get interesting. Some 1953 wheat pennies have been preserved in pristine condition, and that's where the true value lies. As with many other coins, the condition of a 1953 wheat penny is key to its value. Coins that have been carefully stored, well preserved, and remain in near perfect or mint condition are always more valuable. However, it's not just the condition that can make a 1953 wheat penny worth more, it's the potential for minting errors. Mint errors can take a regular coin and turn it into something truly special. For example, doubled dies are one of the most common errors found on coins from the 1950s, including the 1953 wheat penny. This error happens when a coin is struck more than once, causing parts of the design to appear double. If you find a 1953 wheat penny with this type of error, it could be worth far more than a standard penny. Other errors, like off-center strikes or misaligned dies, can also make a coin incredibly rare and valuable. The more unique the error, the more valuable the coin becomes. It's the rarity of these errors that makes coins like the 1953 wheat penny so sought after by collectors. The beauty of a minting mistake is that no two error coins are the same, meaning that each one has its own story to tell. And because these errors are so rare, they're often worth far more than their face value. If you happen to find a 1953 wheat penny with one of these rare minting errors, you could be sitting on a hidden treasure. So, how much is a 1953 wheat penny worth? The value can vary widely depending on its condition and whether it has any minting errors. A regular 1953 wheat penny in good condition might be worth a few cents, while one that's in excellent condition could be worth a bit more. But if you're lucky enough to have a 1953 wheat penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, or if you've discovered a rare minting error, the value could be jaw-dropping. Are you ready for this? A 1953 wheat penny, in top condition or with a rare minting error, can be worth as much as $72,000. That's right, $72,000 for a single penny. It's incredible to think that a small coin, which was once used for everyday purchases, could now fetch a price like that. It just goes to show how valuable the right coin can be when it's preserved or has a unique story behind it. So, how do you know if your 1953 wheat penny is one of those valuable ones? First, check the coin's condition. A penny in excellent condition will have sharp details, no visible damage, and will look almost like it was just minted. Next, keep an eye out for any minting errors. Look closely at the design. Are there any doubled features, like the date or Lincoln's portrait? Is the coin slightly off-center, or does it seem to have an unusual strike? If you spot something out of the ordinary, it could be worth getting the coin professionally graded. If you're unsure whether your 1953 wheat penny is valuable, it's always a good idea to consult with a coin expert or get the coin graded. Professionals can give you an accurate value and help you understand if your coin has any unique qualities that could make it worth much more than you expect. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the 1953 wheat penny is a perfect example of how an everyday coin can be worth a small fortune. If you have one of these pennies lying around, or if you find one in your spare change, take a closer look. You might be holding onto something that could be worth tens of thousands of dollars. Top 7 and last lucky coin. If you find, we're diving into the fascinating world of a coin that could be worth more than you ever imagined. Yes, I'm talking about the 1949 wheat penny. Now, you might think, it's just a penny, right? How could it possibly be worth anything special? Well, stick around, because this small coin has a huge history and value that you'll want to learn about, especially when you find out what it's worth at the end. The year 1949 holds a special place in American history. The world was slowly recovering from the devastation of World War II, and the United States was in the midst of a post-war economic boom. People were adjusting to life after the war, and the country's currency system was evolving. The 1949 wheat penny was part of that transition and continued the legacy of the iconic wheat design that was first introduced in 1909. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse of the 1949 wheat penny features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, which has graced the penny for decades. This design is easily one of the most recognizable in American coinage history. On the reverse, you'll find the two stalks of wheat, a symbol of America's agricultural roots and the strength of the farming industry. These two elements, the Lincoln portrait and the wheat sheaves, make this penny more than just a small coin. It's a snapshot of American history. So, what makes the 1949 wheat penny stand out in the world of coin collecting? Well, despite the fact that millions of these pennies were minted in 1949, it's actually quite rare to find one in exceptional condition today. After all, pennies were made for circulation, not for being preserved in perfect condition. Over the years, most of these coins were used in everyday transactions, worn down, and often damaged. But here's the catch: there are some 1949 wheat pennies that have survived in pristine, uncirculated condition, and these are the ones that collectors really pay attention to. Condition is key when it comes to determining a coin's value, and for the 1949 wheat penny, finding one in top condition is incredibly rare. Coins that have been carefully stored and kept free from damage or wear can fetch a much higher price on the market. If you've got one of these well-preserved 1949 wheat pennies, you could be holding onto a real treasure. But wait, there's more. The real excitement comes from the possibility of rare minting errors. Mint errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, and these mistakes can lead to coins that are unlike any other. For the 1949 wheat penny, there are several types of errors that collectors look for, and they can significantly increase the value of a coin. One of the most common errors on the 1949 wheat penny is the double die error. This happens when the die that strikes the coin gets misaligned or is struck multiple times, creating a doubling effect in the design. On the 1949 wheat penny, this could mean you'll see a double date or even a doubling of Lincoln's features. These error coins are highly sought after by collectors, and finding one of these in your collection could mean a huge payday. Another error to look out for is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin is not properly aligned in the press during the minting process, causing the design to appear misaligned or off-center. These off-center strikes are also extremely rare and can add a lot of value to a coin. The more extreme the error, the more valuable the coin becomes. So, how much could a 1949 wheat penny with these errors be worth? Well, a regular 1949 wheat penny in average condition might only fetch a few cents. But if you have a coin that's in near mint condition, or one with a rare minting error, it could be worth much more. The real jackpot comes if you find a 1949 wheat penny with a major error like a double die or a dramatic off-center strike. If you happen to have one of these rare versions, you could be holding on to something worth a small fortune. Are you ready for this? A 1949 wheat penny with the right condition or minting error could be worth as much as $80,000. Yes, $80,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe that a coin worth just 1 cent when it was minted could be worth so much today, but that's the magic of rare and valuable coins. Now, if you're wondering how to know if your 1949 wheat penny is worth something special, here's what you need to do. First, check the condition of your coin. If it's in excellent shape with sharp, clear details, it's worth a closer look. Second, inspect it closely for any minting errors. Look for signs of doubling in the date or design, or check to see if the coin is slightly misaligned. If you spot any of these features, there's a good chance your coin could be worth much more than just 1 cent, and don't forget, if you think you've found a rare coin, it's always a good idea to get it professionally graded. A coin expert can help determine its true value and give you an accurate estimate of what it might be worth in today's market. With the right certification, your 1949 wheat penny could be a real gem that could make you a lot of money. The world of coin collecting is filled with surprises, and the 1949 wheat penny is a perfect example of how something small and seemingly ordinary can turn into a valuable treasure. If you have one of these pennies in your collection, or if you find one in your spare change, take a closer look. You could be holding onto a coin worth $80,000. Thank you for watching today's video. If you learned something new or enjoyed the story of this incredible coin, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on more exciting discoveries. Happy hunting, and remember, you never know what treasures are hiding in your coin collection.